This is gonna be strange. What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. In this week's video, I will be telling you about one of my weirdest, craziest dreams. Let me tell you, I have weird dreams. I lucid dream almost every night. And if you don't know what lucid dreaming is, it's basically where I know that I'm dreaming when I'm dreaming, and I can control certain things that happen in the dream. But let's get right into the video. So there's one night when I finally fell asleep and my dream opened up. So in my school, the junior high and the high school are together, but they're separate buildings, like they share a wall. For some reason, I was in one of the junior high science labs and I was talking to the science teacher about how to do some problem, and all of a sudden we hear this knock on the door and we turn around. There's this robot looking alien thing. He said, okay, you need to go back. He was referring to me. You need to go back to the high school. You need to go back to your first period. And I look at the teacher, we're very confused. I was like, okay, because he had an axe in his hand. I was not gonna mess with the axe man. No way. So I went back to my first period like he told me to. But when I was walking back to the high school, I turned around, and in this little window where I could still see inside the classroom, I looked in it, and all I just see is him hit her in the head with the baseball bat. When I saw that, I bolted towards the high school and I didn't look back. When I was running, all I could see is these lines of robot alien things just coming into the junior high and locking all the kids in the room. It's like, what's going on? I get to my first period classroom and I notice that it's my first period from last year. It wasn't the one from this year. It was my freshman year. It was my world geography honors class. And I walk in and everyone looks at me. It looks like they've all seen their grandmother naked for the first time. I'm sitting where I normally don't sit. I normally sit in the front. And so I go into the back and I sit down, the only empty desk left. It's like they were waiting for me. And they shut the door. They put another robot alien thing in front of the door to block the window. Every once in a while, the robot would move and we could see kids coming in like pairs or singles or sometimes 5 at a time. I'm looking and everyone has a pencil and has a paper and is just writing. And the teacher's just sitting like this at his desk. And he's looking at us and everybody's writing and I have nothing on my desk. I don't even have my backpack. And they all look like they're doing some word problems. Then we hear this knock at the door. The robot opens the door and this man comes in. He's talking in gibberish to this robot and the robot keeps responding with beeps. He's like beep, 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 beep. The robot turns to us, snaps his fingers to get our attention. He turns to the man. He said, pick which ones you want. At this point, I was freaking out. Everyone was in tears because no one knew what was going on. What is happening? And so the man scans the room and he's like, you, come on. So the guy he picks gets up and walks through the door and he walks out with the guy. And before they leave, the man who says that's the one I want, he hands the robot a $20 bill. So at this point, I figure out that they're selling us, and I don't know why. A few minutes pass and an old lady comes in. She's in her 60s and she picks out 2 kids. One was a girl, one was a boy. They both get up, they leave with the woman, and the woman hands them $100. And then what felt like an hour, a man comes in. He looks like he's in his early 30s. And he scans the room, he picks one girl, and he picks 3 guys. He looks at the robot and says, can I walk around? And the robot was like, whatever. The man comes in, he's walking through each aisle of the desks, and he's looking at each individual. Every time he walks past a girl, he touches their hair. And every time he walks past a guy, he pats their head like they're a little dog. He gets to me. He started here at the door and he comes all the way over here where I was. And I'm just looking at my desk and I could see his feet on the ground. And he grabs my chin and he pulls me up and he says, you were the one I wanted in the first place. Come with me. He makes the other 4 kids sit down after he finishes talking with me. And by this time I'm in tears, I'm sobbing, I can't catch my breath. He hands me the money and he makes me count it right in front of him. And so I'm counting $100 after $100 and it gets to be $2,000. And he said, "That's good." He grabs it from me and he hands it to the robot. And I'm thinking, why would he want me for $2,000? That's insane. You know how much ice cream I could buy with that money? A lot. And so we walk out of the room and he makes me walk ahead, but I can still hear him whispering to the robot. And he said, "Package the other 4 that I picked. Here's the money." And he hands him the money, and I couldn't see how much it was. I keep walking and he catches up to me and he grabs me by the neck and he pulls me out of the building. And while we're going towards the entrance of the high school and he's taking me, I don't know where, I see my mom coming out of the junior high doors into the high school. It was one of those things where you try so hard to scream in the dream and it just won't let you scream. When I saw my mom and I tried to scream and I couldn't, I realized I was in a sleep paralysis. And if you don't know what that is, look it up. And I was trying so hard to wake my body up because my mind was awake, but my body was still trapped in this dream. And as she's walking away, all I can see is her face go completely white. Her eyes turn bloodshot red. She opens her mouth to say something, blood gushing out of her mouth. And her eyes roll back in her head to where it's just red. And I mouth the words, "I love you." And that's when the dream goes black. And it slowly starts turning white. I feel like I'm opening my eyes, but I'm still dreaming. I'm being thrown into this bin and someone pushes the bin and it makes the bin topple over to where I'm falling out. And it feels like I just broke my arm and I hit my head really, really hard. And when I get up from the ground, I see that there's a whole bunch of blood on the floor from where I hit my head. One of these robot things is behind me. He pushes me into an air duct. So I open my eyes and there's a line of people. I see that they're all jumping out of these little holes. There's a window in front of me and I look out the window and I see an airplane wing. And I look more out the window and I see kids just jumping out of this plane and they're basically falling to their deaths. And I look to the side of me and I see my best friend Abby sitting on this side and my mother sitting on this side. They're both looking out the window. They're not looking at me. They have a blank look on their face. Tears just streaming down the sides. My mom has a huge cut on her arm. You can see bone. And Abby has half of her face taken off. We all hear this boom, boom, boom. And I'm the only one who can look. And I see that line of robots are coming. And they all have huge baseball bats, nails glued to the bats. The first robot gets to the first kid in line and swings the bat and hits them, and they just keep going. And every time a robot passes a kid, they hit him and hit him over and over and over again. Right when the first robot gets to me, he swings, he hits my head, I hit the wall, and I wake up. So that's all I have for you today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this little dream story time. If you want me to do more of these dream story times, because I have a lot of them, make sure you comment it below. If you got weirded out, like it. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on your post notifications, and I will see y'all next Sunday. Bye!